Hello everyone, welcome along to another recording video. John here. Now today we're going to have an interesting little test so you can hear all the kind of different ways that you can record your acoustic guitar. So first of all, I am using two Shure SM81 microphones, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play everything through so you can hear the difference between all these recording techniques, and then at the end I'll show you how I'm doing it all in Logic. So the first little test I'm going to do, I'm going to play some chords with one time round with one microphone. The second time round I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but I'm going to double the track and make one of those tracks out of phase. So pan one to the left, one to the right, make it out of phase. The third thing I'm going to do is use both of the mics together, so in stereo. And the fourth thing I'm going to do is have both the mics on, so in stereo. Then I'm going to double track the guitar. So if you're not familiar with that, what that means is double tracking. I'm recording exactly the same thing again, playing the same chords over the top. So let's listen to how all those things sound together. There we go, so that's how it sounds. Now I'll leave it up to you to kind of use your own ears to see what you preferred. For me it was the last one, the stereo one with the double tracking. That sounds pretty good. You get a nice stereo spread. Now one thing I should say just before we go into the Logic section is I'm using these microphones here in what they call an XY configuration. That's quite standard, but you can muck about where you put the mics to sound the best. And I've also got them roughly pointed at the 12th fret on the guitar. That's quite standard as well. That sounds good. But as I say, just muck about when you mic your guitar up. Some people like to put it on the bridge, or further up, or I've even seen some people put it over their head. But anyway, let's have a look in Logic and see what I was doing. Alright, so what I've done here in Logic is I've got this first track, which is the mono guitar track. So it's just recorded the guitar with a single mic, and it sounds like this. Okay, so just the same as you heard before. Now what I did was, the next thing I did was I copied and pasted that, alright, and then I created another track and I just copied that down and I did something called inverting the phase. So let me show you how to do that. Just before I do that, it sounds like this. So it creates a kind of stereo image. It's a kind of like a poor man's double tracking, really. So let me delete that and I'll show you how I did that. So I'm going to delete that track, go up here, I'm going to hold down the Option key and drag it to the new track. All right, that completely copies it. Now, what I want to do from that point is that is panned left. I've already panned that right, but if you haven't, you'd pan it right. Now, if you hadn't done that, all that's going to do is create another mono track, really, because that's panned left, that's panned right. You end up with a mono track. So what we want to do is invert the phase. So the right channel is slightly ahead of the left channel, makes it sound kind of stereo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, it's in a funny thing here, it's in the gain. So if I just select that to no plugins, I go here, I go down the bottom here to gain in utility, I'm going to do mono, all right, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to invert the phase there, all right. And let's see how that sounds now. So it kind of creates a little fake stereo image. So that's how you can do that. So inverting the phase, so that's 1 up from mono. And the next thing I did here was I recorded in stereo. So I've got 2 microphones in an XY configuration, one to the left, one pan to the left, you can see there, the one on the right, pan to the right, and let's hear that. There we go, so that's sounding a bit better now, 1 up, kind of we're adding up as we go, you know, to a better sound. And then the last thing I did, you can probably see here, I've still got the stereo, still the 2 mics, but now what I've done over here is I've recorded the same part again, so I've recorded over the top and I've just kept that kind of in the middle. It's up to you where you have your pan, and now it sounds like this. So I hope you can see there, as I say, all these techniques, you know, you can choose what you like, but from the beginning right the way through to something which sounds a bit better and fuller. All right, so I hope that was useful to you. You know, there's so many ways to record an acoustic guitar, so I don't think that's the only other way. I've got my mics here kind of, you know, positioned in this XY configuration, but you can put a mic on the top above, you know, some people put a mic by the sound hole. For me that's a bit boomy, or by the bridge here. You can just muck about and see, you know, what works for you. But anyway, there we are. Hope that was useful, and please remember to subscribe if you can. If you want to make a donation, that would be really good as well. So I shall see you in the next video.